Hey there, Virgo. Welcome to your reading. You have the Hangman wanting to pop out there a bunch of times for the week of December 12th. We're just going to jump right in here, Virgo, and look at your current general energies. You have this Midheaven card. It says Pinnacle on it, so it kind of looks to me like you could be reaching the top of something, or you could be kind of climbing to the top here. We're going to have to see. You have the Nine of Wands, King of Cups, and the Nine of Swords. And look at all these nines, Nine of Cups as well. To me, whenever I have a reading with multiple nines, it really suggests new beginnings or, kind of like starting something new. So that wouldn't surprise me. I love this card too, but we're about to enter into a new year. So I feel for some of you, you could just be all excited about just starting new things in general. Virgo, I love this card too. So you have some very good cards. This card of fulfillment is really good in that deck right there. But let's see here, Virgo. You start off with this Midheaven card. It says Pinnacle on it. It's like you're reaching the top of something, or, it's kind of interesting because you have the Nine of Swords here in this first row. I feel like for some of you, you feel like you've gotten everything you can out of a situation, whatever it is. Could be love, could be business, or otherwise. You even end with the World card. The World card, of course, can be a card of completion. And you also have the Ace of Pentacles. So to me, this reading is kind of pushing you towards new opportunities or starting something new in your life. You have the Nine of Wands, the King of Cups, and the Nine of Swords. I feel like you need to examine your emotions here, especially with the Nine of Swords and the King of Cups. I do feel some of you could be dealing with a water sign, but, I really feel this is kind of like your emotions. He's sitting in the middle of the ocean. He has very deep emotions. He has like multiple layers to how he feels about everything in his life. And he needs to like explore those emotions, especially if he has a new opportunity coming in. I mean, in your middle row, Six of Swords, Two of Cups, Ace of Pentacles, looks to me like you're being presented with like a really solid opportunity, but it's like, how do you feel about it? I feel like that's what this is saying. I feel like some of you are definitely trying to like escape some sort of nightmare with the Nine of Swords. I feel like I've been feeling this energy for you for a while, where it almost gives me the vibes of being sick. Again, I'm not a doctor, so do not take this as medical advice, but if you've ever been very sick, and it's like you just feel like you're never going to feel better. I'm not saying that you're sick. I'm just saying that some of you, I feel like you're wanting to change your situation here, just in life in general. And you could be saying like, am I ever going to, take control? Am I ever going to be able to change things with this Nine of Swords? And the good news is that you, in your first row, this is the good news, which there's a bunch of good news here in the reading in general. You have this Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands really tells me that you're not giving up, and Nine of Wands is my card of experimentation. It is, of course, the Wounded Warrior, so I feel like you've been through it, Virgo, in the past, but it looks to me like you are ending some difficulties or challenges that you've been experiencing for a long time. With the Nine of Wands, here you go. You have this Revenge card. This card does not say take revenge. As a matter of fact, I would not take revenge with this Revenge card. Especially during Mars retrograde, there could be some moments where, maybe someone hurt you in the past and maybe you have the opportunity to, verbally annihilate them. And I feel like this is saying, don't do it. So no revenge. It is a terrible time for revenge, especially with the astrology. With the King of Cups, you have this Inheritance card. Could be a Scorpio coming in for some of you if you are looking for love. But what I would also say is I do feel that some of you are kind of like inheriting some knowledge or wisdom. Some of you, of course, could have an actual inheritance coming in, but I would say that you would know about it. People always ask me, like, whenever I get these cards, they're like, does that mean I am going to get an inheritance? I'm like, do you know someone that died? Because if you don't, probably not, right? This is something that you would know about, plain and simple, but I do feel that. With the Nine of Swords, you have this Empathy card. I feel like some of you are hoping that people, it's kind of weird, the message I'm getting here. I feel like you're hoping that people understand your situation or something. Those are the words I'm getting. Can we get more clarity on this here? And you have this Generosity card as well. Kind of very similar energies in a lot of ways. I feel like you're hoping that people are kind to you or that people understand your situation. For some of you, I feel like you're wondering, I feel you could be like thinking about like the past a little bit here. I'm not saying you're going back to the past, but you could be thinking about like friends that you haven't talked to in a long time, or maybe there's a specific person that you haven't talked to in a long time. And I feel that you're hoping that this person is kind to you or something. Those are the words that I'm getting here. Again, the message that I get sometimes they don't always make sense to me, but maybe they make perfect sense to you. So there you go, Virgo. Next, in the area of the unexpected, you have this perfection card. It says you will do much better than you expected. Love it. Much better than you expected. You can't beat that. I feel that this could be in some sort of improvement that you're making in your life because you have the Six of Swords, which could say you're moving on to calmer shores. But to me, this is popping to my head as like an improvement or improving something. You have the Nine of Cups, the Six of Swords, and the Three of Cups in this row. The Nine of Cups, of course, is a wish or wish fulfillment. You end with that fulfillment card, so I do feel there could be a lot of fulfillment coming in for you. I really feel that for like the next 10 years or so, that this is an energy that we should all be practicing. The way to practice the Nine of Cups is you have to be in the energy of something that you want before you can have it. So if you want love, for example, you have to experience love before you can have it. And people are always like, how is that possible? And I say, go love a dog, go love a cat, go love nature, go love something, right? And if you do that, then you could attract love. So you have to be in the energy. The other thing I tell people is like mimic success with the Nine of Cups. It's like there are certain things that people who are in solid relationships, there are certain things that those people do. Start acting like you're in a relationship. Start doing the things that those people do, whatever the hell that is. Take yourself out on a date. Go romance yourself. I don't care. Do something, right? If you do those things and you're matching the energy, you're going to attract something very quickly. Same thing with money as well. You have the Six of Swords here. Moving on, I feel a lot of you definitely a difficult ending that you've experienced because if we go like this, you go up to the Ten of Swords here, and you do have the World here, but, you know, I'm not too worried about that Ten of Swords. Personally, I don't think Ten of Swords is that bad. To me, the worst card in the tarot is the Nine of Swords, which you do have here, but, you know, to me, the Ten of Swords is dead done over with. It's like, it doesn't get worse. The guy, he has 10 swords in his back, so, you know. What I would say is that it doesn't really get much worse than that. I don't think there's anything necessarily bad coming in off of that Ten of Swords. I really feel it's just saying that you've reached the end of something and you're about to have a very fulfilling new beginning, which we see at the end of the reading. I do feel like some of you could be kind of starting from scratch in a lot of ways. You can see that this mother and the child, they only have the clothing on their back and they're moving across these choppy waters to get to calmer shores. And it's kind of weird that intuitively, like I feel like some of you could be completely changing careers. Maybe you have like one career and you're moving to something completely different that you've never done before. Maybe you have a job and you want a business. Like I feel like I see some of you doing that as well. You're making like a complete change. There's some sort of like one of those, I call them like chopping changes, where you like chop something off completely and completely move on to something else. You know, it's a much more dramatic change, if that makes sense. And I feel that for some of you. Same thing in love as well. Like some of you, I feel you could be making these like kind of like a more significant change in love. And I say this because of the Two of Cups. I'm not trying to be overly dramatic here, but Two of Cups, those two people, they are meant to look different on purpose. So to me, I feel a dramatic change here is that you could be like meeting a person who is much different than your usual type. That's literally what the Two of Cups represents. So that would make sense to me. I do feel like some of you, there could be some sort of reunion here, but, you know, it's kind of funny because it's popping into my head as a friend. You know, if you have a friend, especially if it's a Scorpio that you haven't talked to in a very long period of time, I would say that I feel like some of you could be reuniting with a Scorpio person. You have the Death card right next to it, this right here. And, you know, so you could be reuniting with a Scorpio person. It's funny because, like a couple weeks ago, in the Scorpio reading, I was calling Scorpio Virgo for like, I don't know, 10 minutes of that reading. So I don't know, it's kind of interesting. It's that it's showing up here in the reading. And, you know, I did that just a couple weeks ago. So it wouldn't really surprise me if you had some sort of reunion with like a friend or like a family reunion with someone you haven't seen in a long time. With the Nine of Cups here, you have this innovation card. These innovation cards have been coming up a lot. There's a couple of cards in this deck that basically all represent innovation. And we're entering into this time of Aquarius. So, you know, I'm going to say it a lot over the next like 20 years if YouTube still exists. That really, if you want to be successful, you have to innovate. You have to try new things. You have to do things differently. And we all have to learn to keep up, you know? And I feel it's going to be good. You know, we're going to be creating a lot of abundance and success for each other, I feel. But I would be open to new ways of doing things. With the Six of Swords, you have this protection card. I feel like something is protected here. Can we get more details on this? Because it's like disconnected from the reading. You have this appreciation card as well. This card represents abundance. You can see here there's a cornucopia right there. And the cornucopia represent abundance or abundant situations. So I almost feel like your abundance could be being protected. And again, you could be making a change. I'm wondering if some of you, I don't necessarily feel this is like unexpected, but it's like there could be like a little bit of I wouldn't even call it a spiritual flat tire, but there could be a moment that happens where maybe you're like, I should leave this job, and you like leave the job and then you get something else, and like maybe the job you left goes under or something like that. I kind of have that popping into my head where it's almost like you're, dodging a bullet here. Let's put it that way. So trust your intuition, because I feel like you are going to be, maybe you get a feeling that you should do something. That's kind of what I'm getting here. It's almost like your guides are protecting you with this protection card and are kind of pushing you in a new direction. So don't be afraid of like anything like this happens. This is like classic Mars retrograde type stuff that's going on here. It's like funny. It's kind of like a random story. My insurance on my car, I have like a flawless driving record, knock on wood here, right? I have a flawless driving record, but they canceled my insurance for like no freaking reason on my car. And, instead of like trying to get them to not give me my insurance back, I just went to a different company, because I was like, what, this could be like a spiritual flat tire where maybe the universe is like, hey, you don't want to deal with this insurance company anymore. Go deal with someone else. Right. So, that's kind of what I was getting. That's kind of like what I was getting intuitively from that. So I just went with someone else. I didn't even bother calling them back or anything like that. It was Geico. They suck, by the way. So cancel Geico. Go with someone else, right? There you go. That's my jab at Geico. With the Three of Cups, you have this seduction card. Definitely, I feel there could be a person who is trying to seduce you. You know what's really interesting as well here, Virgo, is that this card is Pisces or Jupiter in Pisces. And we have Jupiter in Pisces for like another week or so. It leaves on the 20th or whatever. And, a lot of people have been getting this card. It is a seduction card, but it doesn't only mean seduction and love. But a lot of people have been getting it around love. I kind of feel like Jupiter in Pisces might have been like a trigger for all of us. Maybe we went through something over the last year or so while Jupiter was in Pisces that kind of triggered us to expand past what we normally would experience in love, right? And look at this. Going up, you go to the Two of Cups in the World. It's like there's like a perfect match coming in for you with that Two of Cups. There's something new coming in here, something that you haven't experienced before. So I'm wondering if like the last year or so has been like a learning lesson in your love life, and you could be moving towards something that makes you very happy. This is in the area of what's coming towards you. You have the happy card, literally a card of being happy and a card of being fulfilled. And this is like my favorite card in this deck because, she is like channeling that happiness. It's coming down through her crown there. And she's also sitting on that giant egg. It's almost like she has more inside of her than she knows she's capable of. It's like that giant egg came from her, so it's like she can accomplish so much more than she thinks. And I kind of feel that for you here, Virgo. You have the Ten of Swords, the Two of Cups, and the Death card. Some sort of difficult ending here. And again, I do feel, but it doesn't even have to be, again, it could just be like your insurance getting canceled. And again, I wouldn't fight it. It popped into my head, that insurance thing popped into my head, so I had to tell you. And, I feel like there could be like a moment like that happens to you where like something gets canceled or, something happens. But I feel like you shouldn't, I feel like it's saying like, hey, avoid this, go to somewhere else. There's something better. I kind of get that feeling on the Ten of Swords. So, the thing with the Ten of Swords is he's making this symbol with his hand right here, and that symbol represents a blessing. It's the same symbol that the Hierophant is making with his hand as well. So I kind of feel like there's like a little bit of a blessing in disguise, and I feel you will be very happy that you just went with it, that you just kind of roll with the punch, so to speak here. For others, I feel like you're just moving towards a new beginning. I don't even think that Ten of Swords is very dramatic in your reading. I feel like it's saying, hey, there could just be a change coming. You have this Two of Cups here. I definitely feel that if you're looking for love, you are attracting someone who is very different than your usual type. Again, these two are meant to look very different. They're meant to look like they come from two different worlds. So if you're looking for love, I do feel, again, that you're attracting someone who might be different than what you're used to, but this is a good thing. This is not a bad thing. I feel there's going to be a lot of happiness, a lot of fulfillment with a new person, so I would go for it. You also have the Death card. Could be a Scorpio coming in for some of you. You have all the fixed signs here as well. Could be an Aquarius, a Scorpio, a Taurus, or a Leo with the World card. But whatever it is, I feel it's a total change. I also feel that you have undergone like a lot of transformations over the last like couple of years, but it's almost like you're settling in. Is that's the word that I'm getting here with the six wands. Some of you, maybe you're like finding yourself, maybe you're finding out like who you truly are or the type of person that you want to be in life. I don't know. I feel like this is a good thing because it's like you're settling into your personality, even if you're 90 years old. I don't care. Maybe it's taking you 90 years. That's fine, right? That's what life is about. We should be exploring different things, I believe. But I feel like you're kind of like settling into something. With the Ten of Swords, again, you have this assertion card, but I feel like this is saying don't assert yourself, in a situation. Again, I feel if you're like having a spiritual flat tire, I would just say like, I feel this is saying like, allow it to happen. Just, kind of go with it for whatever reason. That's what I'm getting here. With the Two of Cups, you have this restlessness card. I feel maybe some of you have been restless or feeling restless. This right here, by the way, let me show you. That right there is, the caduceus. It's a staff of Hermes that he is holding. This is Hermes right here. And guess what? You have the staff of Hermes right here. So both cards have the staff of Hermes on them, which could represent communication. So I do feel like there could be communication coming in from a person, and it could be someone from a distance as well. With the Death card, you have the Fortune card. There are great fortunes coming in for you. I feel it's going to be not only this week, but I feel like this year, 2023 is going to be very fortunate for you. I feel like there's a lot of fulfillment. I feel like there's much more success coming in for you as well. Really like it. At the end here, for messages from your future self, you have this fulfillment card. Do we need to talk about it really? I don't think so. There's tons of fulfillment coming in for you. You have the World, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Six of Wands. I feel like this fulfillment is going to be coming through a new opportunity with the Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles is meant to represent like a big new opportunity, something that takes you on a new journey. The Ace of Pentacles, the way I look at it, is it's something that you have to grow, right? It's not easy necessarily. It's not something that just magically happens in your life. There's a garden in the front here, and it kind of represents taking care of a garden. If you have a garden, you have to weed it, you have to fertilize it, you have to give it water, all those things. So there's an opportunity coming in for you. Of course, you're going to have to nurture it into existence. It's not going to just magically appear in your life, but I feel there's a lot of success in whatever it is. Here you go, Six of Wands. A lot of attention as well. For some of you, for those of you that are like creative, that have creative projects, that channel something, right? That you have that happy card, I feel that you're much more capable of doing something than you realize. So again, I kind of get like a little bit of imposter syndrome from this reading. Sometimes I think if we create things like YouTube videos, art, if we want to write a book or something like that, something that could, potentially expose us, right? Then I think that's where imposter syndrome can come in. I feel like this is saying face the fear, because there's going to be like a lot of success. I feel like you're making people jealous. This person back here, they're meant to look jealous of this person on the horse. So I feel you really could be getting a lot of attention in a good way, and, I would take advantage of it. You have the World here as well, so I feel like you could be ending some cycles and finding success. This is a card of achievements as well, so there's clearly, and the Six of Wands is also a card of achievements, so I feel that you could be achieving a lot of just everything, but probably work with that Ace of Pentacles or business if you have a business. With the World, you have this negotiation card. Yeah, I mean, I've pretty much said it all year that, the next few years are really good negotiation years. I think that's what we need to think about as well. If there is a recession, if we're in a recession, which I'm sure we are, who the hell knows what's going on, right? What I would say here is, I wouldn't accept anyone's offer, period. I would negotiate everything. It's like if you're buying something like a car, a house, I would not accept the first price. I would try to negotiate, because you probably can just get a better deal. And I think it's a sign of the times. I think it's like the time that we're in. There's just going to be a lot of opportunity to get better deals on stuff. With the Ace of Pentacles, you have the Status card. Crazy. Everyone had this card in the 2023 readings. So if you're attracting love, you could be attracting a person where maybe the two of you are like a power couple, or you gain some status. I also feel for others, whatever you're working on is like a perfect match for you. Like, let's say you don't want love. Two of Cups can be like, you have the Two of Cups right next to it. Two of Cups can be you and your higher self. And then you have the Status card. You could be gaining status because of your work, is what I'm getting here. And with the Six of Wands, you have this Harmony card. So a lot of peace and harmony and happiness. The other interesting thing is you have two suns, a sun here, a sun here. So there's clearly a lot of joy, happiness, good things coming in for you at this time. We're going to pull 5 main themes now for your week. So we're just going to see, and you have the sun card. You have the sun here. So there you go. A lot of happiness. You have this turkey card. It says someone is behaving stupidly. I keep telling people Mars retrograde, right? I would be careful of any turkeys in your life, anyone who you know causes problems, or anyone you know just is out to make a mess. I would be careful of that energy for sure, especially with this turkey card. So I just avoid it at all cost. You have this sun card. It says happiness and well-being. I also feel like, whatever you're growing, right, whatever your Ace of Pentacles is, the sun can just represent attention. And you have the sun symbolism here several times. So something needs attention. You have this wind chimes card. It says peace and harmony. I think I said that, peace and harmony, earlier. So clearly there is definitely happiness, peace, harmony, good things coming in for you. You have this axe card. It says forces working against you. Again, it is interesting that pretty much every single person that I've read for so far has had a card similar to this, like people like out to get you and stuff like that. I don't think it's true. Again, I think it's Mars retrograde. Mars retrograde brings out the weirdness in people and people trying to be in competition when there is no competition and all that other stuff. As I always say, I would just ignore it, plain and simple. The silence is power when we have Mars retrograde. So just not trying to fight against things, right? And finally, you have this carrot card that says opportunity or windfall. I would take advantage of any new opportunities that come your way, Virgo, because they are going to lead to the most success.